Okay, so I'm going to do two separate videos, and the first video is going to be increasing for a corner to corner blanket, and the second video will be decreasing for a corner to corner blanket. So the first thing you want to do is your chain 6, but you need to make sure that this tail, your beginning tail here, is a little bit longer so that you can sew it in after. So what I do is I just give it a little bit longer than you would normally make it. And how I start is I just get this piece and I wrap it around just once, and then I start as if I was just gonna do a regular chain. So I just do a chain like this, pull it tight, and then that's your knot, and then you just begin. So I just pull it a little bit tight there against your hook. I'm a tight crocheter, so if you're a loose crocheter, you might find it even easier to see the chains and all your spaces, but basically it's the same thing. So if you can count to 6, you can do a corner to corner blanket. So you're going to start with chain 6. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what you're going to do is you're going to count down to the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in that 4th chain, you're going to do a double crochet. Sometimes when you first start, it can be a little tricky, a little bit difficult, but you'll manage. Just like right now, I'm having a little bit of trouble. So there we go. 1 double crochet. And then you notice you have your chain 3, 1 double crochet, and you have 2 more spaces. So in those 2 spaces, you're going to do 1 double crochet each. And it looks like that, and that's 1 block. So then after that, that's also your first row. So after that, you're going to chain 6 again, because you are increasing, and this is how you start your second row. So you can either, whichever way is easiest for you, you can either count up 1, 2, 3, which is this one, or count down 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same stitch, so whichever one makes it easier for you to do. And that's where you're going to do your first double crochet, and then your next 2 double crochets. It's the same thing, chain 6 and then 3 double crochets. Now what you're going to do next, after you've done your 3 double crochets, is you're going to see this part here, you're going to flip it over so that the chain 3 of your first block is now on this side. And so then what you're going to do is you're just going to do a little slip stitch in the space between your chain 3 and your first double crochet. So once you do your chain or do your slip stitch in that chain 3 space, then you're going to chain 3, and then in that same space you're going to do 3 double crochets, all in that same space, and that will give you another block. And that basically is what you do for the entire blanket. So you'll see here now you have your second row, because you have 2 there and 2 there, so that means you have 2 rows completely done. So then you're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where you're going to put your first double crochet. So there's your first double crochet, then you got your 1, 2 more spaces, or chain spaces rather, to do your next 2 double crochets. I'm wearing new glasses, so I'm finding it a little hard to see right now, because I got bifocals. So this should be fun. So see how it kind of just falls there, and it's got like, you have nowhere to go. So you got to remember to flip it around. And then you have your chain 3 space right there, and there's your 1, 2, 3 double crochets, right? So you want to go in this space right here. So you're just going to slip stitch like this, and then do your chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then do your 3 double crochets all in that same space. So here we go, 1, 2, and 3. Oops, 3. And then, because you still have another one here, because you're now doing 3 blocks, right? So you want to find that space. Sometimes it's rounded like that, and you just have to just do that kind of maneuver it with your thumb and finger there. So you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to slip stitch, and then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then 3 double crochet in that same space. Right? And then so you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you know you've now done 3 rows. Or if you count 1, 2, 3, it looks like steps, right? 1, 2, 3 steps, you've done 3 rows. So you're going to increase again. You're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you're going to count down 1, 2, 3. Oops, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, or up. 1, 2, 3. Either one, it's the same chain. That's where you're going to put your double crochet, and you're going to do the same thing. It's a very, very easy peasy pattern that you can do while you're watching TV, and it's a very forgiving pattern too. So if while you're doing your double crochets in that chain 3 space, and you go, oh my gosh, I made a mistake, I did 4 instead of 3, that's fine, doesn't matter. So I've done this, it looks a little floppy and out of space, I have nowhere to go. Don't forget to flip. Then you do your slip stitch, and then you do your 3. So yeah, like I said, it's really forgiving. So in this space right here between the chain 3 and your double crochets of the block that you had done before, if in this space here you end up, you get really involved in what you're watching on TV, or just, for some reason not paying attention, which, sometimes happens, or you get a little eager and you do 4 instead of 3, it doesn't matter. It's a very forgiving pattern. Like here, we'll do 4 right here, and see, it doesn't really matter. Oh, oops, it just looks a little bit bigger, and then you go on to the next one, and it really doesn't make a big difference. See, and then you do your slip stitch, do it on 3 to the next one, and we're just going to keep that one as 4 because, oh well, I've done that so many times, doesn't really matter. It just shows that you're really eager and, you like the pattern a lot. So again, when you get to the end, it's a little bit rounded. You just pull it apart a little bit, find the space, and do your slip stitch and your chain 3. So I'm going to stop it here so that we can move on, and you can continue on doing your chain 6s, your chain 3s, and just keep going with your pattern. and then I'm going to show you how to decrease. Okay, so far this is what it looks like. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know we've done enough. So I'm just going to do a couple more rows on this one, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like to decrease. Okay.